On tonight's show, we have screenwriter and actress Cherie Antoinette. And now for your host, KoolKard. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 147 of the Kickin with KoolKard show. I am your host, KoolKard. Thank you for tuning in. Like I say all the time, if this is your first time checking your boy out, I invite you to subscribe so I can continue giving you this goodness, this value that my guests bring to you on here so transparently. All right. Last week we had Shafana Ray. She's an actress. She's a casting director as well. Check her out. Go check out the episode. It's streaming right now on YouTube. You can check it out on Apple. You can check it out on Spotify. For your listening pleasures, if you don't want to view the video, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to watch a video, but you can ride to it, you can sleep to it, whatever you want to do to it. All right, but it's there for your enjoyment. Please check her out. All of her links are in the description if you are interested in anything that she has to offer. All right, moving forward, this week I have another actress, but she is also a screenwriter. She is doing great things. She has her own company. Man, I can't wait to jump into this interview. She's full of energy. She's full of life. So I know it's going to be a great conversation, and that's what this show is all about. Just great conversations. These are not interviews. These are great conversations. I do this for you. I can't do it without you, like I always say. All right. She goes by the name of Cherie Antoinette, and we're going to bring her on in like how I like to do it, man. Let's get this show going. Let's get it, y'all. Cherie, what's happening?
KoolKard. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. What an introduction. Man, I felt like I was on the Jay Leno show.
Hey, that's the plan. That is the goal.
That's what I felt like.
Yeah. Yes. And then when I get on TV, I'm going to bring you back on. How about that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you already have the great welcome and intro that gives me very late night vibes. I love it. Yes.
Hey, I got to represent you in the right light. All my guests, I got to represent you in the right light. I thought that the music was fitting for the pictures too, especially towards the end when you got all in the black and you doing all that. It was very fitting, very mystique.
It was, yeah. If I had to be an X-Men, it would probably be Mystique. I'm very mysterious like that.
See,
so
I got it.
I'm glad you picked up on my dark side.
Yes. I received what you were given. Yeah, for sure. Hey, but before we jump into anything, I like to pray before every show. Are you okay with that?
I love it. Absolutely. Let's do it.
I gotta ask. Everybody's faith is not the same. All right. Well, let's get it.
Absolutely.
Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, we just thank you for this moment. We thank you for this time. We thank you for Cherie being available, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, and willing to be transparent, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, about her journey. Lord Jesus, we just thank you for life, love, happiness, just good food, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, shelters over our head, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, great health and laughter, Lord Jesus. We just thank you for these times. We thank you for these moments. We just thank you for this platform. Without you, there's nothing, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, and we just give you all the victory, all the glory, all the praise. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, indeed.
Amen.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for that.
Oh man, I gotta do it.
Oh, it's very it clears the space. It makes it like more of a holy, sacred place to be in. And when you're sharing your art, you want to have it, feel sacred. So thank you.
You know what it is. It's all about that energy.
Yes. I know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and 2 or more people. We're in church. So listen.
Hey.
This conversation is ordained.
Love it.
I love it. Right. Get them snaps.
I love it. I'm a snapper too. Like, started out in poetry, so I love to snap.
Oh, you did?
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I started out in music, so we,
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. God called me away from it though. He pulled me, tugging at my soul. That's another story. I told that too many times, but yeah.
It's all right.
Started out music, and here I am. But this is what I love. This is and I do, like I said, I do this for people. I can't do without them. Just want to give back. I saw a need to provide some free value by bringing people like you, who are in their journey, walking their journey, and have accomplished some things. And maybe you could shed some light on some dark areas that people are looking for. And because a lot of people don't know what they need to know to really get going. And then
Yeah.
we always say, "Oh, go to YouTube, go to Google," but there's so much
Yeah.
stuff out there.
Mm.
They consume all of that, and now they're confused.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You
know?
need discretion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Discernment. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. So I like to bring people like yourself on that are having some success,
Yeah.
doing their thing, kind of figuring it out, but figuring it out, got it figured out, whatever have you, but you've got it going
Right.
on and you have something. A lot of people don't have anything because they have
Whew.
not started. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You started, you
Yeah.
stepped out there, and even if you were still kind of hazy and don't really know your direction, you're still doing it. But there's a lot of people
Mm.
that have not even jumped off the ledge and need to hear your testimony, need to hear your journey, need to hear your struggles, need to hear your triumphs. You know what I'm saying? So that
Hmm.
they know that they're not alone, and you're
Right.
no different than them. You started where they
Right.
are. You just stepped off that.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So with that said,
Absolutely.
so with that said, give us Cherie. Who is Cherie? How did you get here? And then we're gonna talk about what here is.
Yes. Well, man, this journey started a long, long time ago. It was pretty much a purpose, to I started off writing
Okay.
poetry, short stories. I would always get my papers read by my teachers anonymously, but I would always like secretly like slide down into the chair, like, oh my God, that's my story, that's my poem. And I didn't really want people to know that I was a writer, that I had these really big emotions. I feel like writing to me was just like an outlet for really big emotions that, I think sometimes in Black households, we don't really get to express ourselves,
Yeah.
or our parents are busy working and they don't have the time to like sit and dedicate to our self expression. And so I think that's why our culture is so beautiful. Unfortunately, we tend to turn to these things that really grow our soul, but they come from sometimes isolation. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just felt like it was a really great way for me to express myself. And so I started writing. And then when I got in high school, I wanted to try theater. And so I was really bad at first because I didn't know like stage direction, or, I didn't know what a monologue was, something simple like that. But then once I learned, I just became unstoppable. And yeah, I just did very well in high school theater, won a lot of awards,
Oh, that's
got
good.
a lot of scholarship offers to be an actress at like SCAD and a couple of other
Uh,
colleges of the arts.
okay.
Um, but then my life kind of like it deviated left. I ended up being a teenage mom. So
Okay.
I ended up spending most of my 20s raising boys, and putting acting to the side. And I decided to pursue a career as a nurse, a registered nurse. So I went and got my bachelor's degree in nursing.
Okay.
Um, but I kind of like spent 2 years in English before that, like doing an English major because I still really love to write. Um, and I did some plays in college because I still loved acting. And even though I had like 2 kids under 5, I was like, I'm gonna act still. And yeah, then it just happened upon my kids got bigger, and I had more help and was in a healthy relationship. So I was able to get back into acting. And like I just feel like this whole journey has been my calling. And like even sometimes when I don't want to answer it, it really beckons me loudly, and it haunts me if I don't do this. So I just finally decided to like take the plunge with this last project, Hard Drive. And
Hold
that's
on. Hold on. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, I gotta interject. Got to, because
Okay,
I want to
sorry.
take it back a little bit because you just
Yeah.
gave us some meaty stuff, so we can't move on past that.
All right. No,
Look,
certainly. No, go ahead. Yeah.
slide to your right just a little. Slide to your
Oh,
right just
sorry.
a little. There you go.
Okay.
Cool. Perfect. All right. So there was two things you said I want to touch on because this is
Hmm.
good information for people. So you said something about because of in the black family, in the black
Mm.
household, because of whatever societal pressures, economic hardships, whatever stuff happened in the past that has us on a uphill struggle, right? A lot of times parents are not available to sit
Right.
down with their children and school them and give them that tutelage that maybe other races are awarded,
Right.
and have
Yeah.
that luxury of doing. So that does something to us. Like we have to fend
Hmm.
for ourselves as young children and figure it out. So the struggle continues, it's a cycle, right?
Right.
So you said something about that, and I'm gonna connect the dots later because I know what your
Yeah.
company. You know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
You know I'm going with it because with your company,
Yeah.
that's something you focus
Yeah.
on. So we're gonna talk about that. But I wanted to just pinpoint that, and then also just talk about how being a teenage mom and you having to
Mm.
kind of back away from your love and that craft that you had that you have a burning desire for a while. Like, what did that do to you mentally, emotionally? How did you deal with that? How did you pass that time? And I know you were dealing with your children, so that's something that's near and dear.
Yeah.
You love them, of course. That's your heart as well. But then you have a love for something, and you have to scale back. How did you deal with that? How did that make you feel?
Yeah, I think that's a really good, meaty question, and thank you for backing me up because yeah, I will go on all the way to the end. But listen, yeah, I will. But so I think that for me, I felt like in society, like that we always said, like, you have to sacrifice this or you have to give up this or you have to stop this to be a good parent. And that didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't really take a break raising my boys. It felt more like I was learning how to be a better writer. I was learning how to be a better actress because I had life experience and it gave me
Mm-hmm.
so much experience and so many more stories and so many more moments to
Yeah.
tell. So it didn't feel like it was a huge deviation, and I didn't have zero resentment from being a teenage mom because it made me a million times better person, a million times hustler. Like I had something driving me to get done what I wanted. And even though I knew I was still going to go back to acting, and I knew I was taking a break, I felt like um, it wasn't a break. It felt like I was living life. And I think that sometimes people get so focused on a destination or on a goal that they forget about the process to
Mm.
get there and how
Yeah.
enjoyable and how pleasurable that can be to
Yes.
actually experience the journey. So yeah, I think being a mom made me a better screenplay writer. It made me a better actress. It made me a better person, and it made me a better human. And so yeah, I think that was necessary for me to be at this moment. I think I would have fallen into a lot of other pitfalls that are way worse than being a mom young.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
grateful to
I
it.
love it. I love it because you get it. You
Yeah.
get it. But people need to hear that. Like, don't
Yeah.
wallow in self pity. Like, oh, it took my dream away. No, that's
Yeah.
part of the process. That's a
Yeah.
journey. That
Yes.
was scripts. That you know what I mean. That part of your life are
Yeah.
scripts.
Yep.
Every bit of it. You could come up with
Yeah.
so many stories out of all that time that you quote unquote took away from acting. That was
Right.
boot camp.
Listen.
That was boot
Listen.
camp. Like
Yeah.
art imitates life. You're living life. That's part of life. Those are stories
Absolutely.
to tell. Why are you mad at the fact
Absolutely.
that you have story? You're living your stories. You're
Yep.
living your work. So it's all about shifting your paradigm and being able
Hmm.
to see that and
Yeah.
not say, this child set me back. It's blocking my
Right.
dreams. You're
Right.
sour. With that mindset, you may never get back on track. But
Exactly.
you never got off track, which is, I love it.
Listen. No, I've just always felt like my reality was created by my perception. And so it's all in how you perceive things. And so, like you said, it's a paradigm shift. So for me,
Yeah.
I just had to shift my mind and say, okay, for me, everything is already written. Like there's already a master screenwriter. So I don't ever have to doubt my journey because my story's already told. So
Yeah.
I'm just playing the part.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So
Thank
Go ahead though, because I cut you off. You were saying
Oh,
you had your
yes.
boys, and then you just basically like took the plunge, got back in. So continue with that.
Yeah, so I had one more son.
Okay.
He's 6. I ended up being, like I said, I was in a healthy relationship. And we have a child together. And yeah, so I was on maternity leave, and like this thing came up for extras. I think it was for Black Panther or something. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, I don't know. I forgot I wanted to do that and I need to do that." And it felt like God just knocking on my door, like, "Do you
Yes.
remember where you were supposed to be?" And so I didn't get cast for Black Panther, but I did go to the open audition, the casting call. It was amazing just being around all these people in African attire and garb, and
Right.
felt like being on stage again. And so then from there, like I was like, okay, how do I become an actress? Because I just had the bug again, and I thought it was gonna happen overnight. Like honestly, I was like,
Like most do. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was way too arrogant. I was like, oh, it's gonna happen overnight. Just wait until I walk in that room. And it doesn't happen like that, baby. It's a
Right.
million of you walking in that room.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. And I just am grateful that I had that time, because nursing was paying well and nursing was paying my bills. And so I could have just gotten complacent. And
Yeah.
I felt like, having that reset and having that time off from work to realize, like, do I really want to do this work forever? And then realizing I didn't. And that was like the best shift that ever happened for me, was, finding myself again after children.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when did it come to a point where you're saying, I want to create my own production company, take matters into
Yeah.
my own hand, tell my stories, act in my stories, create the work. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, so you're not waiting on anybody, you're creating work. And I'm
Whew.
looking at the production, like that production is damn good.
Oh,
So
wow.
speak on that. Yeah, listen, speak on
Thank
it.
you. Wow. Thank you, first of all. That means
No,
a
no
lot.
doubt.
Well, I grew up in Stockbridge, Georgia. Well, I grew up in Jonesboro, and then I moved to Stockbridge, which is in Henry County, which Henry County is just, it wasn't very diverse,
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. So I never had roles. Like, I love my acting teacher. We're still friends to this day. She actually directed my first production, but like, she did not choose roles where Black people were in the narratives.
Okay.
And so that already kind of left me jaded, because I would audition for stuff and I knew I was a better actress, but I didn't necessarily fit the role.
Right.
And so that theme followed me into my independent acting career, where there just wasn't roles that I fit, or either I fit the role, but I didn't like the role. I wanted a role that really showed my duality, my depth, like you said, my dark side, my light. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted something that was, you know, fun to portray, but also reflected who I was as a person. And so when I say I wasn't getting roles, it wasn't that I couldn't go and audition for like a role that would be easy for me, but I just didn't feel like that's what I got into acting for. I didn't get into acting to play like stereotypes.
You're right.
So
You want to be
that's when I,
challenged.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
want to be
don't,
challenged, and you want to actually play a
yeah,
character. You know what I'm saying? Like you want a
right,
character role. You want to step outside
yeah,
yourself. The stuff that they
mm-hmm,
stereotype us with. It's you could be you doing that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like it's no
yeah,
challenge. There's no challenge.
yeah,
You're grateful of the work, but
yeah,
you want to be challenged.
yeah. And you can have a whole career playing like day play roles, stereotype roles, one and dones.
Right.
But for me, I just felt like I felt very intentional about restarting my career, because I felt like, again, I was called. And then I felt like if I'm starting it, I'm going to have the intention with every role that I select, with every character I play. Because I said, I mean, I may not get another chance. Like, I'm getting granted the second chance to
Right.
do what I love again. I don't want to blow it because I took this role or that role. And then, you end up getting typecast.
Yep.
So
So easily.
I yeah, even though I know I'm not there, like as far as my some people just think, just take every role just so you can build a portfolio, but for me, I'm just okay with being slow and steady and consistent and not like just being an overnight
Me
celebrity.
too.
That's never been my
Let me
aim.
tell
So
you, my agent. Let me tell you, no, seriously, my agent sends me auditions and I turn them down.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's one thing I despise of myself for doing, but I have to
Mhm.
because I hate
Yeah.
to miss an audition. I hate to turn down because I don't want to be like I'm too good for it or I'm blocking my
Yeah.
blessings or like I'm turning
Right.
my nose up. It's not that though. You know what you
Yeah.
want and you want to be
Yeah.
challenged. So you can't
Yeah.
just take every single, you know,
Yeah.
ID investigation because those are easy to get. Like you don't want to
Right.
be that. I'm
Right.
more than that. I know I'm more than
Right.
that. So some of those I gotta turn down. Some I'll be like, okay, I kind of like the story. I could see myself doing, and this could kind of benefit me and show me in a different
Mhm.
light. Cool, I'll do it. But some of those, man, I gotta turn down. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I won't allow myself to do it, and I feel
Yeah.
bad. Well, I feel bad when I do it. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I know my worth.
Right.
I know what I
Right.
want
And
for
it
myself. You know?
that's what it really goes back to. It's like, what do you want? And you don't want to send God, the universe, mixed signals. You
Hmm.
can just, if you don't know what you want, it's going to show in what you continue to accept.
Exactly.
So the things that you accept, you'll continue to receive. So like there is a point where you have to say, this is my worth, this is who I am, and I'm not gonna settle for anything less. It was this intentionality going back into acting and just making sure that I was in alignment.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my reintroduction into acting has been about alignment. And I don't think it's putting your nose up at things. I don't think it's saying I'm too good for this. I think it's saying this is what I enjoy. And I think acting is about choosing joy. So you,
Yeah.
you have to constantly choose the things that give you joy. And for me, some things just don't give me joy. And it goes back to energy. Like I could spend my energy on this audition or spend my energy setting this up. I could spend my energy here, or I could spend that energy writing my own screenplay. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So for me, it was like, I'm going to take this energy on the time I'm auditioning and working on other people's stuff, and I'm going to go back to what I loved first, which was writing. And I decided to write these stories, produce these stories, because I didn't trust my story in the hand of anybody else. I know how I wanted to execute it. And I had a good income to do that. I was a registered nurse. My husband's an attorney. I was like,
Okay.
I have resources.
Right. Yeah.
So let me pour into this dream. And when the biggest thing I tell people all the time is belief.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Belief is what transforms your career. It's the metamorphosis. It's literally the chrysalis phase. Like when you start believing in yourself, that's when you'll see a shift. No one in this world is going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. No one in
Absolutely.
this world is going to invest one dime in you until you invest the first dime in yourself.
Yes.
So to me, there is an attitude that I don't need acting classes. There's an attitude that I don't need this. There's an attitude that I don't need to. Why am I spending my money? Because no one in this industry is going to risk $1 million-billion budget on you when you haven't invested a dime into yourself, because money is energy. And the moment that you believe in yourself and that energy starts to follow you,
Yes.
that's when you start to see the manifestation of your work. So for me, producing became about, okay, I'm going to show you why this script is good because I believe in it enough to make it. I don't need to ask you for the money to make it. I don't need to put my hand out for you to make it. And I don't have to wait for you to make it. So I started finding my favorite scripts, the ones that I felt like were producible and worthy, and also profitable. I think I also felt like I'm going to start to make films that are for profit, and I'm okay with that because I think artists should get paid, and I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just started wanting to make like proof of concepts and things that I could pitch on a bigger scale, but showing what I could do with the resources I had. And I think we've been really nimble and productive with the resources we have. And then I found another life behind the camera that makes me diverse and
Right.
that gives me longevity as I'm aging, as I'm changing,
Yeah.
as my weight changes. I have something I can do that adds to the worth and that still achieves my ultimate goal, which is to be a storyteller. So when people say they're multi hyphenated, I just tell people I'm a storyteller. So I don't need any hyphen. I tell stories for a living. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So I want to talk about your company, right? So you started your company,
Yes.
you and your husband. Now, I do understand you create your own projects and you work for hire. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell
So
me about you focusing on the minority audience,
mm,
and then I want to know what stories are you trying to tell the minority audience, and of course, tie
yes.
back into what I talked about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Pathway Cinema came about because I was basically working on a lot of projects with friends and doing a lot of work. And I was like, whoa, this feels like producing. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, it feels like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm doing a lot.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I decided that, for like money, monetary purposes, like I should probably have an LLC. So that was why I needed it. But the name came, honestly, I am a huge Westworld fan. And I was watching Westworld. And if you haven't seen the series, I'm not going to spoil it, but the meat and the meaning is basically like about self exploration and finding yourself. And I said, that's what I wanted my films to do. And
Okay.
so a lot of the characters in Westworld are like trapped on these loops, and it's about finding their path and getting out off of the loop.
Okay.
So I wanted people, when they watch my films, to sit down and connect with the characters in a way that they could find out a gem about themselves, find out something different and unique about themselves. And so that's why I named my production company Pathway Cinema. And also, there was also this other aspect where it was like, I felt like, I remember, like I said, going back to what we talked about, being a Black child and not having self expression and being lonely. Like, film to me, like, we couldn't afford like vacations and stuff, but I could watch Titanic and I could be transported.
Yeah.
I could watch the Wild Wild West. I could watch Space Jam,
Yep.
And
Yep.
so for me, film was a destination. Like for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, I was transported to another world. And so that's what I feel like Pathway is your destination in film. It's the your landing place, but it's also about realizing that you are your own destination. Film is so that you can arrive with
Yeah.
yourself. So
I love that.
that's the name.
Oh, I love that. I love that because
Thank
that's so true. I
you.
remember, just watching shows over and over and over and getting lost in the show. Like it takes you
Yes.
to a different place, and it's like it's just magical. You're
Yeah.
not there. You're not here when you're watching that
Right.
show, and it's like I can remember
Right.
back, like what was my show back then? I mean, still to this day, honestly, Martin.
Uh-uh.
Martin, like that is my all-time favorite. I own
Wow.
all
I
the
can see
season on
that.
disc. Listen.
Yes.
I could watch a Martin episode, the same episode, over and over and over, and just let it
I
play
can see
all
that.
day, and I'm gonna laugh the same each
Wow.
and every time.
Yeah.
We are going to
Yes.
get into. Oh my god! When I saw what you had, I was like,
Uh-uh.
oh my god, and it's so good though.
Thank
It's so good, and you're telling me it's
you.
only a concept?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I
Why?
know. The world was disappointed.
What? No, you can't. You can't stop
Yeah.
there. I'm
Yeah,
telling
the
you right
world was
now.
disappointed. I know.
No, no. Is it for
It
licensing reasons or what?
Well, there was talks with Martin's camp between the director, after it did go viral. We had like millions of views across 3 or 4 platforms, and yeah, it went really viral. People thought it were really mad. They thought it was a trailer for a movie that was coming out, and people really got mad. And that's kind of what Bobby Huntley does. He pisses you off for a living. So, yeah. So, but anyways, I think that it will be a full feature film one day, and I stand strongly
Man,
by that because the people
we
want it, and that's
need it.
yeah, and that's what film
We
is about. But
need
I
it.
know how it is when you have your icons and they're still living and it feels like no one can replace them. So I
Yeah.
get that too. But the story was so different and so fresh and just very satirical, and it took a different angle. And I just felt like, to me, I think we get kind of hung up on actors instead of the characters.
Yeah.
So for me, like, there's been a couple of different people that's played Shaggy or Scooby Doo, or you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, Mickey Mouse. I feel like you want to do the person justice, but when you're playing a character, these are people that are like timeless, and you shouldn't get too caught up in what they look like, more so
Right.
that they embody the essence of who the person is.
Yeah. And it's really good. I have the trailer. Can I play it? Can I get your blessing?
Please play it.
Man, listen.
Yes,
You
please
guys are
play
in for a
it.
treat. I think it's about 2 minutes long. This is 2 minutes
It's
of
okay.
just.
The
I'm
best
such
two
a
minutes of
fan.
your
I'm
life.
telling you, like, this is, man, you don't even know how much this means to me just to play
I
this
love
and
it.
how good it is, though.
It
Oh my
is.
God. Let me
It's
stop
really
talking.
good. It's
Let me
really
stop
good.
talking. Let me stop talking. All right, so
Yay.
we gotta view this because this trailer, I'm telling you, it's amazing. We
I'm
need
so
this. I'm telling you
excited.
right now, Cherie, we need it.
Yes.
Make it
I'm
happen.
ready.
Make it
I'm ready.
happen.
We're gonna make it happen. I'm just gonna have to beat Barbie upside the head. But yeah, even if it's just a fan movie and we don't make money off of it, I think the connections and the relationships and the audience that we build is
Yes.
worth it. And sometimes you
Yes.
have to take those L's financially to build your
Yes.
audience and find your
Trust
audience.
me, there's value in it. Don't worry about the money.
Right.
Don't worry about the money. That
Yes.
will come later. But there's
Absolutely.
value in this. You got to
I
get Martin
know.
on board. You got to get
I
Martin.
know, Martin. If when you're watching, not if you're watching, yeah, we're ready to make this a feature. So,
Yeah, Martin,
yeah,
please give him your blessing. Please, in honor of the show. In honor. Oh my God, in
yeah,
honor. All right, here we
yeah.
go. Let's play this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is introduce it.
I'm Cherie Antoinette, and I'm about to spin you guys the hottest proof of trailer concept you'll ever see by creative and director, writer Bobby Huntley. We have Pam and Tommy.
Let's go.
We always gonna be boys.
Man.
Chills. Every time I see it, it's
Man.
cold.
Man. Listen. Listen. I think the time is now, right?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
do I think the time is now? Because now you have something to, I don't want to say compare it to, but it's been
Yeah.
done. Look at Bel Air.
Yeah.
Look at Bel
Yeah.
Air. Why not that?
I know. It's so good. And I look at Bobby and like all his different like homages to the 90s, the juice hug. Like he took love, he also had a thin line between love and hate in there with the cake. Like he took all these different
Yes.
nuances, and he was so creative and like masterfully told this recreation. And that's why I tell people it's not a reboot, it's a recreation. Like it's
Yes.
it's it's new, it's not the same show. So but same characters you love under new circumstances, which is a
Yes.
reimagining. And that's why I think Bel Air is so successful, because it's not the same thing. No
Yes.
one else can play Will Smith like Will Smith,
Right.
but you can bring in
But
a
you get
new
the essence,
Will.
though. You get the essence of it.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
It's the essence. Oh
Absolutely.
man. So
Yes.
did you have any hands in producing or anything, or you just acted in that?
I was so blessed to only act in this. Hold on one second, so my computer doesn't die.
Oh, no good.
Because if I would have had to produce, I don't know what I would have done, because literally they did so much work on the production side of this. Like the wardrobe, which I have in my house. So maybe I get a little producer's credit because I'm storing it here in case we get picked up. But the wardrobe is here at my house. I mean, the styling, all the clothes they had to find, the sets they had to find. Like, I don't even know we filmed it in the Trap Museum and Culture Experience. I don't even want to know what those talks were like to get the space, you know?
Wow.
They literally had a Martin set already ready to go. So I was like,
wow.
We just walked in and filmed. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I got to experience as just an actress and not a producer, because it would have been insane.
The acting, everything, it's perfect.
Thank you.
Y'all need to listen. You guys need the green light on that. Put it on Peacock. Let it compete with Bel Air. Something. It's that good. It really is.
Yeah. We all knew it was good, and we all hope that it's gonna be what it needs to be. I think, like I said earlier, like just time and alignment and that divinity. It will happen because the work is already there, the product is already good, and the fan base is there, and the fans have been asking for it for a while. Like, that was the first time my mom was ever proud of me as an actress. So I'm really grateful to Bobby.
Very authentic.
Yeah.
Because you've seen people try to reenact stuff and it's cheesy, it's corny like that.
Yeah.
Listen. I think that could do what Bel Air is doing and more. I really do.
Man,
it's strong.
And
very strong. Yeah. And everybody loves that story. And that's the story that never got finished. That's the story that was never finished, and everybody wanted to see that. Maybe we'll find out where the hell Tommy works.
What does he even do for a living, Pam? We don't know.
Right.
So and Bobby is just a huge Martin fan. He's just a huge he liked music a lot. And when I went back and watched the reunion show, which another thing about divine alignment with that project was that the Martin reunion was announced a couple of days before, while we were filming, the Martin reunion was announced. Yes. And I was like, God, is this a sign? Right. I was like, wow. But yeah, when I watched the reunion show and I realized how much Martin did for the culture, how much it did for music, how much it did for hip hop, how much it did for Black actors.
Yes.
That made me realize what we were doing and why important it was for this generation to have that and to connect with Martin. So I was just very impressed with how Bobby orchestrated everything. And I have been wanting to work with him since I started my journey back into acting. And so finally to get that call, and then it was for an iconic role like Gina, I was just like, God, you showing out now.
Yes. I think it was casted very well.
Man. The Tommy, I was like, I was like, what? Is Tommy Ford right here in this room, and his cadences and the way he carried himself, it was Tommy. Even Tommy's wife told us that he did such a good job.
For real?
Yeah, his widow told us she was so proud of the production, and that she really thought that they found the perfect Tommy, and to have that come from his wife,
yeah. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, when did they film this? I thought that was him.
Yeah.
Wow.
No. Yeah. And like I said, that production, Rayvon and Rita and all the producers that had their hands on that, they really made the production quality, it felt so real. Yeah. And that's, as an actor, you want to walk into a set that feels real.
Yes.
It just adds to, it's less work you have to do. It's kind of like a cop out, but yeah, I didn't have to do much work for this role, because as soon as I put on the wardrobe, as soon as I saw the sets, I was like, oh, let's go. I am ready. And it was probably one of the most fun experiences I've had as an actress. The cast, the direction.
And see, that right there, that is a challenge. That is what you want. Right? That's what you want.
Yes. That was worth the wait. That was worth the wait of wanting to work with Bobby for 3 years. When you finally get the call and you're like, oh, this is this role. Because the craziest part is I had been told that I look like Tisha Campbell most of my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was like, even at like casting calls and stuff, like they would always say, "Damn Gina," and then I was like, and now I'm playing her, and like
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever like live up to her what she did and her comedic like beats.
Yeah.
But just to even be considered a lookalike was like a blessing. So
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing a damn good job in that film. For
thank
real.
you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see it on whatever streaming service,
I know.
whatever, because it needs to be there. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there.
It will.
It's gonna get worked.
It will. That was the first role I ever had that I walked into work and people recognized me. Like my patients, like the ones that could talk, were like calling me Gina because they had saw it on Facebook.
Wow.
And one of their TTs had sent it to them on WhatsApp, and they were like, "You know who you look like?" So that was the first time, like I actually was like, people was like, "I know you from somewhere." Yeah, like I signed my first autograph off of that. So
that is crazy. How long ago did you guys film that?
We filmed it January of this year or February of this year. Okay. So very, very still fresh, and I'm still kind of like on that cloud nine from filming that.
That has so far to go. So I'm telling you. No, listen, man. I'm telling you, that is going to get the green light. I don't know how it's gonna get worked out, but it's gonna get the green light. It has to get the green light. You can't. That's undeniable.
Yeah, and it was crazy because. I have been a huge fan of Omar Epps, and like I love Love and Basketball. I watched it too many times, and like he saw the trailer and they talked about it on the what's his name podcast. I can see it's a rapper. I can see his
Joe Budden?
Joe Budden on the Joe Budden podcast. They talked about it with Omar Epps. He was like, "Did you just see the Martin trailer?" And that was all I needed to hear. I was like, "Oh my god, Omar Epps saw me acting." I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." So surreal. Dope, so surreal. Yeah. So yeah, I just think like working with friends and like having fun, and that's what this career is all about to me. Yes. And so I didn't get paid for that role, but it paid me in dividends. Like the amount of confidence it gave me as an actress, the amount of reassurance and validation it gave me was worth more than like $1 million contracts. And I'm forever grateful for them thinking about me, and hopefully we'll work together on more stuff.
So. Oh, you will. It has to work itself out. It has to. Yeah. It has to. Oh my God. I'm gonna be front and center.
Man, I can't wait. We'll save you a seat. Yes, at the grand premiere. Please. Happy right there. I'm like, KoolKard gotta come. Oh. He gotta come. He's a huge Martin fan. So yeah, I honestly, that was the first time I was on set, and everybody was like, "We are making history." Like everyone just knew we were doing something historic.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Absolutely.
We walked into it with that chip on our shoulder, like we got something to prove, and I think it like far exceeded my expectations. It was so much fun to make that film. It was so much fun.
I bet. I can't wait, man. Let me know.
Please let me know. I will. We'll keep you posted.
Let me know. Like, listen, we got the green light. I need to know what's dropping. Premiere. All that.
Yes. The more we talk about it, the more it's going to happen, because God just hears our words and our affirmations, and everything just, it clicks, it connects. So I know that continuing this conversation is important. So I'm glad you were able to talk about it and recognize the work that we did with that project, because it was life-changing for me, at least. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you in the DM and just say Martin. We just gonna keep it out there in the atmosphere. Martin.
I know.
Man, I love it.
Yes.
Let's talk about your production though, because Hard Drive is something that you created. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's my baby.
It's a web series on YouTube right now. I think you're on episode 4 or 5?
Well, episode 4. Yep.
How many episodes?
We're gonna there's 5.
Okay. Let's talk about Hard Drive. That's your project that you created with your company, correct?
Yes.
Right, Go ahead. Go
My
ahead. Go ahead.
production company and the lead actor's production company, Kickin Productions. So both of
Okay.
those production companies help to get it off the ground. Yeah.
Okay. And what is it about? What is it about? I'm gonna play a trailer anyway, but
I know. So hard drive was this crazy idea I got 3 years ago. I was working on a project with a friend and another project with another friend, and both of their concepts were good, and but they were different than hard drive. But got inspiration while working on those projects to basically, I was writing an Uber series about a Uber driver that was a murderer, and then I
okay.
was producing uh, a 70s pimp show. So I was like, what if Uber was the pimp service? So then that's where Hard Drive was born. I kept that idea to myself. I was like, I'm not going to give it to them. I'm like,
Right.
I'm going to write this. So I kind of held those gems. But that's why I always say work with your friends, work on other projects, because you're not going to get inspired just sitting in your house, like,
Yeah.
watching, you just got to get out and work with other people and feel those sparks. But yeah, so basically, Hard Drive is a coming of age story about two coding students who decide to create a one of a kind app that puts sex workers in the actual driver's seat. So your Uber driver is a sex worker, and yeah, so it's a very risque, seductive, provocative show, but it's also a cybercrime series, and we explore a lot of like dark web and tech stuff.
Okay.
So it's also for the nerdist, so it's very PG-13 though, because of my aesthetic. My inspiration was Breaking Bad meets Clueless.
Okay.
So the way that we execute all of the sexy, risky parts are that we just pretend like we're on Clueless and that they're teenagers, and everything is very tasteful. Um, but eventually it does start to get into that more gritty world as we compare Candace's choices to like madams and pimps that are actually existing
Okay.
outside of her bubble. So yeah, it's basically about a girl going bad, and how the journey to how she loses herself and is overcome with power, and in the pursuit of basically world domination in her mind.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a very exciting series to see a black woman in, because we don't normally get to play those roles, and I'm so jealous of my lead actress that she gets to be this person, because originally I wrote it for myself, and then I realized like I'm not going to be able to play this role and produce it and direct it,
Yeah.
and so I had to take one of my hats off, and I just happened to find someone who's way cooler than me, and who it could really execute the role better than me. And so grateful that she also decided to help me produce it and keep up the quality. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a labor of love. I literally spent my life savings to make this project. I'm in it now for like $130,000. So I
Man.
spent a
It
whole
looks like it
year.
though.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, the production, like it's the
Thank
quality
you.
is like
Thank you.
hands down. Like really.
Yeah.
And you guys will see when I play the trailer, you're gonna see it's like, wow,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
this is on TV.
Oh, yeah. We
You
get
know?
that a lot. Like, it's made for TV, that it could be on TV right now. And
Yeah.
that was the intention. And that's why I really didn't pull any punches or spare anything, because, like I said, it goes back to belief. If
Yeah.
I'm not willing to invest in myself, how am I going to go to Netflix and ask them for $1 million?
Right.
You know?
And
So
how
I
like
was
as far
like,
go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, so I was like, I'm gonna do it for a fraction of that cost, and I may not have the longest episodes, but they're gonna be made for TV.
Yeah. And it's easy though because
Yeah,
you walk in
yeah,
there, what can they say? They can't say, "Oh, well, we're gonna have to reshoot this. We're gonna have to." No, this is
exactly.
made for TV.
Yeah.
It's less
So,
money you have to spend.
yeah,
So
that's how I approached it exactly. I was like, you know what? We'll build it out. Of course, the episodes are gonna be 45 minutes eventually, but let's show the beginning, the middle, and the end,
yeah,
and let's make it so that whoever picks this up when we finish the season, because I call this like a proof of concept season, we don't have to go back and reshoot those pivotal moments. We just
Right.
have to keep adding to the backbone and put the meat on it. So thank you for noticing and appreciating that, because that's very much so a producer's job is, is it producible? Is it profitable? Can we make this happen?
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I'm just grateful that you caught that part, because
No,
that
I
was a
love it.
challenge.
I love it. It looks
Thank
great. And like I
you.
said, I'm definitely gonna check it out. And if you ever casting, you let me know.
I will, because we
I
already
would love
got,
to audition for it for real.
listen, people trying to invest in season 2, people trying to come on. Everybody wants to be a part of this production. I don't blame them, because it's a great story. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out. Let's check out the trailer.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
be on Granny when I come back.
Yeah, let's figure that out. Let's figure that out. All
I
right.
know.
Here's Hard Drive, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check it out. The link is going to be down in the description. Make sure you check it out. I'm definitely going to check it out. See, I'll support it too. Let's go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think I'm about to binge that tonight.
Man, after you watch it, please let me know what you
Oh,
think.
I
I've
will.
I've
will.
gotten so much great feedback. I'm just so grateful.
Didn't your it was the fourth? You're on the 4th episode or the 5th episode right now?
We're on the 4th episode.
Didn't it
Yes.
drop tonight?
It dropped Sunday night.
Sunday
Yeah.
night. Okay.
But I always try to push it out again, like Monday, Tuesday, to remind people,
Okay.
because we're competing with House of the Dragon, Fox. We're competing with Sunday Night Football. So
Yeah, that's
we
where I
got a
was
lot.
at.
We got a lot of competition, but by like the middle of the week, we usually start to see like views go back up. So
Okay.
but yeah, it's a really, really fun show, and it's very addictive. It's easy to like binge. It's very bingeable.
Oh, I'm definitely about to go in.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's really crazy to know that I made this with Atlanta actors, like actors that are always looked over,
Yes. Let's
people that,
talk about
are
it.
right here, and like
Yeah.
these actors are really good. Like they took my breath away some nights, and I was like so privileged that I was able to direct them. I was like, wow, I get to direct people that no one takes a chance on, who
Nope.
can't get in the same rooms as LA actors.
Yep. Get looked over for the
And
lead roles. Don't even get the
yes,
opportunity. Don't even get the opportunity.
yes. And
It's like
me growing up here, I'm like, no, we have talent. This is the South. This is like, the
yes,
rebirth of hip hop. Like we have so much culture and richness here,
yes,
and we are worthy of these roles. And I'm just so happy that I was able to carve out a little bit for this talented city. So
man. You
that to me is
are.
transformative. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like soon they're gonna be saying your name, just like people are like, oh, have you auditioned for Tyler Perry? They're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, for real.
Thank you.
Just keep doing what
Yeah.
you're doing, man. The quality, even
Thank
the
you.
writing, the quality,
Thank you.
like everything. It just
Thank you.
feels good. It
Oh,
feels good.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It really does.
Feels
And
good.
I literally have watched this series probably more than anybody in the world, from when it was very, very rough to where it is now.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite show on TV. And I can say that unbiased, because like I love TV and I'm very true to what I love. And
Yeah.
I want to see this on TV so bad, because I love it. It's my favorite show. And it's not because I wrote it, it's because these characters are new and fresh, and the ideas are original and fresh. And even though Martin I was on was a reboot, and we live in a land of reboots, I feel like there's a space for something that you haven't seen before. And
Yeah.
I feel like people should take a chance on people who have not been discovered, because a lot of times they have a lot of things deeper than people that are already out here working, because they have something to prove. And I feel like everybody that was on this cast, in front of and behind the camera, like it really felt like the 96 Bulls. Like we just like We
Yeah.
all were like
Like that
squad, like
championship
two.
run. Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, like
But
it felt
yeah.
like that.
When
Yeah.
everything's flowing in harmony, it just yeah, man. And
Yes.
the end result tells you, it shows you that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really does. So yeah.
I was really
Congratulations.
proud. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. No, seriously,
Thank you.
congratulations. And it's
Yeah.
like I said about the Martin thing, it's just so far to go. Like this is the ground and it's so far to go and it's so good right now.
Yes, yes. I'm like, I could not have and like the feedback has just been so genuine. It's like they love our rollout, like, the way, even the way we launch the episodes, the way that we keep the, fans updated. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like it feels good and it feels right and it feels like this is where it feels like home. It feels like this is where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very comfortable and cozy with being a showrunner. And I think I'm ready to be a showrunner on a network. So
Well,
yeah.
listen, if you have any events pertaining to acting or your viewing, what
Yes.
please let me know. I don't go out to too many things. I just
Yes.
I'm an introvert.
Yes.
I do what I do because I'm an
Yes.
introvert and I'm very selective. But if you have any,
Yeah.
let me know, please.
I
I would
definitely will. I'm
love to
actually
support you.
partnering with this networking group. We're in the talks of partnering. It's called On Set, and it's just hosted by two amazing Black women, and it's a classy actors networking event, and
Okay.
they really highlight. They have monologue slams. They're gonna have writing competitions, film competitions. So they're really about community and collaboration over competition.
Okay.
And because of that mission, like I'm all in on
Yeah.
set. So they're once a month, every Wednesday. I think like the second Wednesday of the month. But yeah, I will definitely send you a reminder because yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Let me know.
yeah, it's an amazing, amazing event. Like I feel like again, like I'm at home there. It feels so comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as it's about the art and it's about the work
Yes.
and it's about
Yes.
progression and not that Black
Yes.
Hollywood stuff, I'm with
It's not.
you. Can't
Yeah,
do the
it's
Black
definitely
Hollywood. I can't do the fake networking.
no,
Can't do
there's none of
forced
that.
network.
Everybody trying to have all their little credentials and
Yeah, I
all
can't
co
do it.
no.
It has
No,
to be
it's actually
organic, just like how we're saying with the roles. It has to
yeah.
be organic for me. I can't do
Mhm.
that fake networking and that fake
Yeah.
politicking. I can't do it. Because one thing I will not be is fake. One thing I will not put up with or tolerate is fake. And I can't
Yeah.
be fake and I can't mask it. It's written all
Mm-mm.
over my face or I just remove
Yeah.
myself from the room. I can't do
Yeah.
it. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, and nothing grows from an inauthentic place. I feel like vulnerability and
No.
authenticity like fosters creativity. So,
Yes.
no, this place is definitely very authentic. Like it's warm and welcoming and it's just the right crowd. You can tell that people really love the craft there and
Okay.
I feel like I'm around like like-minded, you know, companionships, cohorts. So
Yeah.
it's definitely it's a good environment. But next time they have one, I will definitely invite you out.
Yeah. Let me know. Definitely. What do they have it at? Do you know?
It's at Ambient Studios downtown.
Okay.
It's really really cool aesthetic. You get a free glass of champagne. There's like a bunch of Black businesses, small business owners that come there. Like there was a candle business, and they have like food, from local people. So
Mm,
it's all about community, and I think that's really the missing piece and the missing link in
yeah.
your success is, do you have community? Do you have people you can lean on and who understand what you're going through? So I
Yeah.
feel that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Send it my way.
I
Send it.
will.
Definitely. Definitely, man. Hey, one last thing before we depart. What
Yes.
This is a self-analysis. What's one thing you feel that you could be doing better that could help you get to where you're going?
Yeah. I think one of the things that I had been missing was really um letting go of like preconceptions, notions, and trusting people. And I think that literally what's on the other side, everything that you want is right there, but there's always this this boulder or something tying you back because you're still not in the present. You're living in the past. And so
Yeah.
for me, I think the thing that I need to work on the most is not in my acting, it's not in my production, it's not in my direction, it's in how I live, it's in how I carry myself, it's in trusting and leaning on really a higher power, but also being present. And I learned that as a director with this last project is that when you're mindful, you get beautiful images because you're sitting in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have that time to just sit and really live in the moment, things get chaotic. And so like I'm really trying to rid my life of chaos
Yeah.
by just being more present and again enjoying the process and witnessing the process as it happens. So I still have to work on that, and I'm like 7 years into the game and still trying to learn on still trying to figure out how to let go and live and to trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Trust is a big thing for me.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard,
Yeah, it
especially when
is.
you know it all and no one can tell you nothing. I'm a Gemini, so that's my motto. I know it all. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
But no, it is. And like I said, life will humble you if you don't get there, but you're supposed to be there. God gonna sit you down and get you there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
either the easy way or the hard way, but you're gonna
Yeah.
learn today. So
Yeah. I mean, so for me, when I say trust, like I trust God for sure, without a doubt.
yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
trusting others with my
Mm.
passion and with my craft.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, and that's why
Yes.
I said I can't do the fake politic and the fake
Mhm.
none of that. It has to be authentic.
Yeah.
And if that's the outer route to get to where I'm going, and if it's the harder
Yeah.
route, then that's just what it is for me. But I cannot be phony. I cannot
Yeah.
be fake. I cannot pretend. I am me
Mhm.
unapologetically. I will
Mm.
say no without any regrets, without any,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy for any of that nonsense that doesn't serve me or serve God or serve what's
Mm.
positive. You know what I'm saying? It just,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah,
It is hard, and it is hard because like when you feel like someone's being fake, it's hard to trust.
yeah. It's hard to
But
get past that.
yeah, but you have to find your right circle
Yeah,
because wherever you go, it has to be somewhere safe. And to me, trust resonates with safety. Do
yeah,
I feel safe around you? And
yes,
can I be safe in your presence? Can I trust you with my vulnerability? Because what we're doing is really big.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think hard drive humbled me. It taught me to trust because there was a lot of times where I did not want to hear what nobody else had to say because I had been sabotaged on other projects, and I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? Is this sabotage? But then, getting past the paranoia and getting really settled and understanding that no, the work is good. They care as much as you, and you just have to relax and let go and trust. And
right.
that's why we have a beautiful project because I really did not resist whatever path was occurring. I just went with the
Went
flow.
with it. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
Go with the flow, man. Go with the flow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, this has been great.
It's
I,
been beautiful.
yeah, love it, love it, love it. Love your
Yes.
energy, love your creations, everything, man. So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank
It's
you.
been a great time. I pray
Yes.
for much success. I know
Thank
it's
you.
there for you. I know it's there for you. So just tell me,
Likewise.
just tell me when. I appreciate it.
Likewise. Yes. Thank you. We're having this conversation, so I know I'm on my way. So, just to sit down here on your show, that means a lot to me, and that's a huge part of my journey. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I wish the grain would have worked. I don't know what's going on, but
I
great
know. I
interview.
know.
If anything,
Thank
we got the
you.
audio, but nah, for the most part, it's been clear. But I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
I know. I know. I thought when I plugged in my laptop that was like the game changer. I was like, "Oh, it was just a little dead." But it's so crazy cuz looking down here it's crispy
It's
and then
crisp, yeah.
it's so crazy. But
Yeah,
I hope your fans forgive us. I
no,
still
it's
think it
all
was a
good.
beautiful conversation, even with
Yeah,
some of the visual problems. But
it's all good.
thank you for having me.
No doubt. I loved it, man. Loved it. I appreciate
Yes,
your presence and all that
yes.
you were transparent with and everything you gave. You know what I mean? Because you didn't have
Thank
to
you.
give. So thank
Oh,
you so much.
thank you.
Everyone, make sure you go check out Hard Drive. It is streaming on YouTube right now. I will have the link in the description. So all you have to do is
Thank
click
you.
that. No excuses. Make sure you go and follow Cherie. She's doing her thing, guys. Just support, man. Support because you better hop on now. Better hop on now. You better hop.
That part.
You better hop.
That part.
Support now,
The
though.
train,
For real.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. The
right.
train is leaving the station, and we
Yeah,
only got so many tickets left. So,
yeah, absolutely. Cole's gassing up that pacer. It ain't left yet.
yes, that's it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. But thank you so much.
You're
Um,
so welcome.
Everybody watching live, everybody that's streaming this down the line, we appreciate you. You know
We
where I'm
do.
at. Every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm right here kicking it with someone like Cherie. Man, I'm telling you, this has been great. Just support, guys. Man, we nothing but love, nothing but love, nothing but love. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it. If you got anything from this, share it. Spread the word. Tell somebody about Cherie. Tell somebody about your boy. We just here kicking it. All right. We do this for you. Can't do it without you. Mean that. Peace and love. We are out of here. Y'all have a good night. Blessings.
Thank you.